to our edition of Market Marauders. Beating the market, one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, an investment channel helps you find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Now, it's been a crazy week of trading. I hope everybody was able to lock in profits. But with further ado, I'd like to go into my weekly watch list for penny stocks. So let's jump into it. So on the first one, we got ticker sign OGN for Organicis. I hope we're pronouncing that correctly. Moving average 10 is $1.01. Moving average 50 is $1.03. Moving average 100 is $1.05. Now, this is from the perspective of Webull. It's a platform I like to use to read charts. If you're interested in sign up for Webull or Robinhood, either one of those trading platforms, I have a link down below in the description, so check that out. And on here, I just have the moving average 10, 50, and 100. I like to use these three different metrics because it's the easiest way for me to analyze the charts. And also like to use the 1 minute interval. So just bear in mind those are the ones that I'll be using for all my analysis. And the graph may look different if you're using the 5 minute, 15 minute, or 30 minute. I just like the 1 minute because it tells you, you know, more detailed information. If we look towards the end of it, it kind of went towards a bearish pattern towards the end of the day. It went down and crossed the moving average 10, crossed the moving average 50, as well as the moving average 100. So to me, when that happens, that begins a bearish pattern downwards. Going towards the end of the day, it looks like it began a bullish pattern going back up in the opposite direction. So it ended the week at $1.03, so it ended above its moving average 10. So just watch that for next week to see how that performs. But with further ado, I like to give some background information on the stocks as well, and not just information on reading the charts. So let's go into some information from them. It says the company is providing an update on the whole RONI program. So they have a program to help battle the pandemic going on. It says they have a vaccine candidate that they announced the termination of its clinical development program with AG013 for treatment of severe oral mucosis in cancer patients. So going into the part about the whole RONI vaccine, it says while working with, I think you pronounce it Aragon Biosciences, leading contract research organization focused on accelerating preclinical biologics products development to advance company's recent acquired RONI vaccine candidate called Terra Cove 2. The National Institute of Health created stabilized prefusion spike protein gene successfully inserted into Chinese hamster cells. Don't know why they're using Chinese hamsters. Maybe it's some medical term that I'm not familiar with. I'm not a medical professional, so just bear that in mind. Just average retail trader. And mini pool production analysts developed are underway. Transfer full-scale manufacturers expected commerce later this summer. So why I chose them is because they're in this niche market with helping to try to find a cure for or a vaccine for the running situation. And any company that's involved in that sector definitely shows lots of potential going up in the near future or in the long-term future, just because there's so much money behind that whole sector. Um, Moving forward. I think they have a lot of growth potential, especially if that program with their Terra COV2 takes off. They said the trial has been successful, based on, the criteria that they were using. And I think if it continues to be more successful, we could see definitely a spike from this company. Now, going to our second one, we got A2. A2 ticker symbol AYTU. So for A2 Biosciences, moving average 10 is 136, moving average 50 is 136, and the moving average 100 is 136. So 136 for all three of those metrics. Um, the difference is like, a hundredth of a cent basically between the three, and it ended the week at 137. So it ended the week above its moving average, 10, 50, and 100. So to me, starting to a small breakout for a bullish pattern. So we can see how that will actually act starting next week. So jumping into some background information from them. It says A2 Bioscience announced distribution partnership with Apollo Med Innovations to expand distribution of basically its testing for the whole Roni. So going to read a little bit of this, some of the highlights of this. It says this distribute of rapid tests cassette of Apollo's network over 1,000 practices across the United States. Distribution relationship expands the company's coverage of clinician and professional customers of large scale, of a large network of medical clinics, clinical laboratories, and wellness centers. Apollo is engaged with growing number of employees and municipalities in offering their testing services. So basically, they're partnering with this company to help get more testing out there to more widespread. And everybody needs testing. That was one of the main topics when the whole pandemic started to happen. Is more testing, and testing for the future. How will testing be given out, and who are going to be the leaders of that charge? A lot of companies came out and came up with testing, but this is definitely one of the companies that as far as their partnership, I think this was not priced in for today. This news came out today, July 10th, so very recent news, and I don't think the market reflected that. Especially showing the fact that it had a small bullish run towards the end of the day, but it was kind of up and down. Tried to go a little bearish towards the end of the day, but bullish towards the end of the day. So waiting for that to sink in. Jump into my next one. Ticker sign INSE for Inspired Entertainment. Scroll over to this chart. Moving average 10 is 324, 327. Moving average 50 is 321. And the moving average 100 is 317. They ended the week at 328. So they're above their moving average 10, 50, and 100. So, to me, shows that they're kind of on a bullish run at the moment. Um, kind of been up and down. But as far as following the moving average 10 line, which is what I usually follow, pretty bullish as far as that's concerned. Now going to some background information on them. Pretty interesting company. This is their financial reports from May 18th. So, it's kind of recent. Um, so the first quarter revenue increased 54% year over year to 52 million despite disruption from ongoing pandemic. First quarter adjusted EBITDA of 10 million declined year over year primarily due to abrupt nature of customer closures related to what's going on. 161 Valor terminals sold in North America during first quarter. Strong demand in interactive business with April recurring revenues from interactive increasing 30% and 100% over March and February, respectively. Virtuals and Greek retail shops relaunched May 11th. So, if you know what this company is, they basically make, I guess you call it gambling machines. You know, have different ways where you can, go and place bets on these different systems. Um, and then also some news that I thought was pretty interesting. Back in April, they actually signed a virtual sports contract with DraftKings. Says virtual sports can provide sport betting content 24/7, 365. So basically, they have, if you see in the background screens, they have a live running, sports 24/7 that you can place bets and wagers on to see. Basically, make money on. So while sports is down, they have a virtual sports currently going on, 24/7. So, when DraftKings went public, it was a pretty huge deal, and the stock shot up. And the fact that this company is partnered with DraftKings, I think once DraftKings starts to go back up and people realize that they have, virtual sports. It says 14 virtual sport variants, including basketball, football, horse racing, soccer, car racing, I guess, and more. So, you know, once people realize that the section of DraftKings that this company is actually the company that's partnering with them to do that, I think this stock will definitely, see a rise going up even more. Now you may say, oh, that happened in April, so that should be priced in. But I think, with basically everybody's trying to see how the roadie's going to happen. I think the longer, people are stuck at home, the more popular these are going to happen. That these online streaming and or gaming services will continue to grow. Now, going to my last one for the week, I got ticker sign ENZ for Enzo Biochemical. Jump into the chart on them. Moving average 10 is 283. Moving average 50 is 285. Moving average 100 is 286. They ended the week at 286. So right at their moving average 100, it seems to be, or a little bit, yeah, like right on it. So to me, even though I see this tiny breakout right here, and I see that the price actually ended at the moving average 50, I would still say this is still bearish, just for the fact that this moving average 10 line has not, gone up to cross the moving average 50. For me, reading charts, the way I read it, a bearish pattern begins once the moving average 10 line crosses the moving average 50, and then crosses the moving average 100. And to me, a bullish pattern begins once the moving average 10 line crosses in the opposite direction going up the moving average 50 and moving average 100 line. So, that's basically the way I read charts. But as you know on the channel, I have to give some background information on them as well. So going into them, we see Enzo Biochem to provide testing for Farmingdale State College and staff and students as they return to campus. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but any company that's involved with doing testing, especially if it's for a whole college, I think can be very profitable. And the fact that they have a test that they are able to distribute, I think is showing the advancements of this company because everyone didn't have tests, when the whole thing started. But the fact that this company does, that they're able to give it to, a college that's a lot of people, a lot of students, faculty, and staff that are coming back, and gonna need them for the future. So it's not just one thing. I think once the semester starts, this is gonna be the trial run, and then if it goes good and the testing and stuff works, then I think they're basically gonna partner with that school, and then they'll have that under their belt, and then they can go with other schools. So I think it's a good step forward for the company, and I definitely see them expanding if this semester goes successful with the Farmingdale State College staff. All right, so bear in mind, I'm just a retail investor, I'm not a financial advisor. So, you know, always, do your own due diligence, seek a financial advisor before making any um, actual financial decisions as far as buying stocks. I'm just here to point you in the direction of, some plays that I'm looking at. Hope you have a good week trading. Here's some more. Here's another look at them. We got tickers on OGN, AYTU, INSE, and ENZ for this week's watch list. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you guys are watching for this week. A lot of different moves being made in all types of sectors, especially the EV sector. Tesla going up and a lot of other companies popping up with their mergers. A lot of mergers going on as well. But drop a comment down below and tell me what you guys are watching. Make sure that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.